Alright, so let's go ahead and break down this EU. So EU, I'm going to talk about everything that I referenced in the last video. I really recommend that people watch it when it comes to referencing the power of three, right? Because ultimately this is what I typically look for every single day, every single week. And then some plays are a little bit, like in terms of range, are a little bit higher than others, but I'll go ahead and explain it. So EU, when we go down to the weekly time frame, let's start off on the weekly, which I typically start off on. We reach into this fair value gap that we talked about going into, I believe it was Thursday's trading session. So we reach up into that, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, regardless. We ran up into that fair value gap and we had a very nice solid reaction. Price filled off the inefficiency and now we start to have a little bit wick lower. Now, longer term, I think we're going to go over this high. Kind of have to wait and see and have to maintain structure. Nonetheless, right, again, I'm focused on what is the current play for today, what is the current play for the week. So when we go back to the daily time frame, we had this reaction and look at how price reacted. Like the bodies are essentially respecting this fair value gap and then we formed a swing high. This is very, very important to me. So what is a swing high? Obviously, it's very basic, it's just that 3-bar pattern where we have a high, this candle made a higher high, and then this next candle made a lower low. So we also ultimately formed a swing low. And the key as well when we're forming swing highs or swing lows, right? I want to see them form inside of reference points. Now look at how even this candle right here respected about the 50% mark of that fair value gap. And then we had a breakdown lower and we did ultimately close now below this daily bullish imbalance. So for me, what am I anticipating? You see how these current daily candles are structured right here, like these bearish ones? I am looking now for the same thing to happen going into the next daily candle, where price is going to have like an opening price right here. And let's go ahead and just show that in terms of an illustration. Let's say we have an opening price. And I'm just looking for the same type of concept where the price is opening, price forms a potential high, and then obviously we maintain this bearish momentum where price is just consistently making, lower lows and lower highs. So this high obviously formed, this high in here is lower than this one. I'm anticipating the same thing at this exact reference point. Anytime I'm looking for a trade framework, I'm looking at it from a daily, 4-hour, or weekly perspective. Because again, what I want to see is I want to find potential moves with expansion from a premium down to a clear discount. And we also have a bunch of liquidity, which I'm going to show in the lower time frame, where you look at all these lows, they've all been kept clean. And we have a fair value gap beneath all the liquidity. So whenever I see liquidity that's resting above a reference point on a discount level, that is something I'm always looking for. Now, just this range in here, like let's just say we get a play. This range right here is a nice 50 pip range. If I can capture, let's say a 30 pip move, pretty much just above a 50% of that current range, I have a tradable range, which can give me a very good risk reward, especially if it sets up on a lower time frame during my kill zones. So again, going into the new Monday's off, so Tuesday, I'm just looking essentially for that next daily candle to have an open, high, low, close. Now again, maybe we take 2 candles, maybe we do it in 1 candle, right? We never really know for sure. However, this is essentially the move I'm watching for. Now again, this is how I always create my frameworks. If I can anticipate the next daily candle, right? You're not going to be able to anticipate, and I want people to understand, you will not be able to dictate and essentially predict every single daily candle. However, just finding moments in price where we can anticipate the daily candle is very important. Like this day here, when I anticipated that price run up, it was very, very simplistic. I'm just trying to anticipate this daily candle and then look for an intraday cycle move. Now, if you guys want me to make a little bit more videos on intraday cycles, let me know. But I have a couple of videos in the add-ons as well, where price, I'm just looking for, again, consolidation through Asia, rally in London potentially, and then maybe New York session retracement until we get down to this ultimate level. Now I'm just going to go down to the 1 hour just so people can kind of see that liquidity pool that I'm referencing. And look at this, we already had beautiful, beautiful reaction in here. even though it's kind of like pretty much right at the end on a Friday. But we have a bunch of liquidity that's resting here. So what do I want to see? I want to see obviously these highs maintained, and when we go down to I'm gonna go up to the 4 hour for less chop. So what I want to see pretty much, I don't want to see a price, like price can retrace, right? Potentially test this bearish order block on the 4 hour. And I just really want to see all this maintained. I don't want to see any aggressive push forward. Really just something like this where price kind of comes up into this level, and then we start to break down, start to show imbalances, start to show backside moves, and ultimately until we get in here. And then maybe we get all the way down here, but again, this is just my objective. So again, you don't even have to catch the full range. If you can catch like an entry, let's just say somewhere here, right? Again, guys, that's 30 pips. 30 pip model, and you're able to, especially on EU, you can minimize the stop loss anywhere between, let's say 5 to 10. You can have a potential for anywhere between a 3R to a 5R plus move, depending on how your stop loss is and depending on the setup. Nonetheless, this is everything I look for in a setup, and it's really not as much as people may think it is, but it's really just trying to anticipate a daily candle and then looking for a lower time frame entry that matches during a kill zone.